Welcome back, folks. I'm going to do another video for you guys and gals. I'm going to try to do a symmetrical scroll design. I broke my last phone last night on accident. This is a brand new phone, and we'll see what type of quality we get out of it. And we'll see how long it records for. So I might stop and take a glance here and there, see if we're still recording. Alright, so I'm going to start with a nice teardrop, and I am working with the Kafka number 0. So you're going to be seeing some pretty fine lines. So that didn't come out that great. I'm going to doctor that up a little bit. May have to battle the cat once or twice too. Alright, so I'm going to finish here with another teardrop underneath there. I tried to mix up sort of a green color, but it ended up a little bit gray. Hopefully you can see it. Yeah, it's coming out all right. So it's kind of a almost a real dark teal gray color. So we're going to do 2 teardrops alongside the original one. And again, you always want to work from the middle out. If you're right-handed like I am, you're going to want to start on the left side and then work on the right side. That way you're not sticking your fingers in the paint. If you get some little bubbles in your paint, you could just go over it again and they'll usually go away. Sometimes if it's too wet, you might want to wait until you've done a couple other lines and then go over it at that point. Alright, so now it's time for my scrolls. Now, I'm going to start off here away from the design, pull out very lightly, push down, kind of do an S curve. Thing moved on me. Now, sometimes with the glass, it wants to pull the paint out of the brush a little funny. That's why some people don't like to practice on glass. You normally won't get that problem with a piece of painted aluminum. I'm going to do the same thing over here. Start off very light and just make sure I'm mimicking what I did on the other side. So kind of an S curve. This is touching at the very edge of the grid line there. It's going to about halfway point there, a little bit closer in. And then my loop. I push down. lift up. Now I'm going to fix this a little bit. It's a little funny. Now with scroll designs, usually you have so much going on that if it's not perfect, a lot of people won't notice it, even though you're never going to really get anything perfect. But usually the scrolls kind of captivate their mind. So I'm going to pull out of here, and I'm going to do a couple going downward. So you're going to have to start maybe where it's a little thicker. Down. Have a loop. Push down and go out. And I stuck my finger in the paint right there. So the way you fix that, luckily it wasn't too bad. I'm going to erase this with some mineral spirits and a rag, going as far as I need to wipe the smudge. All right. Make sure it's nice and dry. And the way you can tell it's dry is you'll see kind of a white haze. At that point, you want to get a fresh paper, dry paper, kind of wipe that off. Make sure you get the crap off your finger. And just repaint that little peak there. Making sure it's nice and smooth like it never happened. And here where I connected, this one's not very smooth, so let's just thicken that up. Now we're going to do the same thing over here, just paying attention to where it came out. This seems to come out right in the middle of that grid section. Down a little bit, not down to the middle, but above it, around. It's going to touch this line and go out. I still have sometimes troubles with that, but that's what practice is all about. All right, so these two look a little bit different. What I'll do is I'll just thicken this one up some. Right there during the fat part. And then wherever I was off, I'll fill in on this one. And now they look relatively similar. Now, I'm losing a little hair here, so you can see that, what it looks like. You want to pull that out before you even start that line. That will happen no matter what type of brush, even if you take perfect care of them. Some of them just lose hairs. And I lost another one there in the paint just now. Just got to be wary of it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a teardrop here, right next to that line. It's not going to touch anything. Just going to disappear right next to it. Try to make sure I'm in the same spot and do the same thing on this side. Trying to keep the same gap, same distance. Now once again, this is the Kafka number 0. Very good brush, very good company. Hopefully here soon I'll get a chance to try out the new Vondago. He's got some synthetic brushes I'd like to try out. I think these are mixed with synthetic and squirrel hair. Alright, now what I want to do is I want to kind of make something that goes out and in, but what I'm going to do first is I'm going to make the point first. So I'm going to go like that. It's like a teardrop going in or going out, however you want to see it. And then same thing on this side. Kind of like so. You got a little funny here at the end, so I'm going to make that round. It looks like we're still recording. Good. If this thing stops, I'm going to upload it anyways. I don't care. All right, so now I'm gonna make a loop and kind of connect this to this. So let's see if I don't put my finger in the paint. If you need to, you can make a fist. Kind of work off of your fist. I'm a little shaky today. All right, smooth this line out some. Again, one thing you have to learn as you go along is to be able to go over the same lines if you need to. It takes a while to figure out, but it's just part of the process to be able to do the same line twice, the same consistency. If you do go over it and it gets too thick, well, you can make the other side thicker if you like. But sometimes the thinner the line, kind of the cooler the piece. So I see that I went to about the middle there and almost the middle here, almost the middle of each section. If you could keep that type of continuity, it helps. So that way you can just say middle, 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 and you end up with kind of the same loop. So almost the middle, almost the middle, and back in. Not too bad. I went a little bit further out here than here. So the way you can fix that is by giving it a double line. So maybe go, make sure I knock off some paint there. So that one's a little bit further out. So I'm going to make this one go out as a double line. Just kind of a quick fix. Now that matches that, so I'm going to have to make an inside line on this side. It's just a way to kind of make it look like you meant to do that. Because sometimes it's not perfect. Now granted, you could probably get away with just doing it like that and nobody noticing. But I'd rather try to make sure it's looking right. So I'm going to do a line on the inside because this is the one that went too far out. And there you go. Quick fix. All right. Now, probably kind of want to go out somehow here. So let's see if I can figure that out. So I think I'm going to start here, go out, and give it a nice... Now the scrolls don't always have to connect. I could start in the middle of this thing and still work it out. So we might just do that just to show you the example. So I'm going to make a loop out, come back in, and give it a nice tail. So start at this corner. I'm going to go out. In. And push down. And lift up. Wow, hopefully I wasn't in the way for that. Now this kind of has a blunt end, so I'm going to try to make it like I meant to do that. Give it a nice fat tip. It's kind of hard. I'm trying not to block the trying hard not to block the camera, and I'm also trying not to turn it because it's good practice just to leave it as is. You're not going to be able to turn a car or a motorcycle. As a matter of fact, you're probably going to have a lot of things in your way when you do these. So, because I made a fat tip there, I'm going to push down. Try to really pay attention to where I was on the other side. So I'm going to go up. Like so. Go down and up. Once again, it's a little bit off. This is longer. This curled up sooner. So what I'll do is, because I like the way this side looks, first I'm gonna fix that up a little bit. Make it look prettier. And then I'm going to erase this side, which is a pretty easy fix because it's at the very end. So I've dipped my mineral spirits rag. Make sure you go as far as you need to. Blow on it. Get it nice and dry. And then make your fix. Blammo. Now they're very similar. This one's a little thinner than that one, so I'm going to thicken it up. I'm actually going to thicken up the entire line here. So this whole thing is thicker. All right, so that's the beginning. Next, I'm going to do a different color. So, being that this has a green tint to it, I think I'm just gonna go all out and throw some Sublime Green on there and let that take it home. Well, being that they're similar shades, you don't have to clean your brush too crazy. Too much, but whatever. It's better to put too much than not enough. Always remember that. When I first started, I would just put these little smudges, and I wasn't getting enough paint. I was over reducing. But if you see a lot of these guys' videos, they always get a decent puddle to start off with, because you never know. All right. So here I'm gonna do some teardrops that are going outward. Like so. We're still recording. Good. Another one on this side. Like so. And just to make it look like it's all going out, I'm going to do the same thing over here. Like so. And that will help the viewer's eyes guide outward, which is kind of one of the goals of pinstriping, is get people's attention to start in the middle and to work out in the design. I think I'll do a nice teardrop here. And that was kind of dry at the end, so let's do it again. Better. Sometimes if you move a little too fast, the paint will have some gaps. So you kind of want to make sure your mix is good and have a consistent drag. I think I'm going to do a couple of small ones here. Like so. That one's thicker than this one. It's actually a little bit of a different angle too. So, because this one looks like it's going further out, I'm just going to add some to this one, just to make it feel like it's also in the same spot. All right. Now, I think I'm going to do a little wrap around in the middle and see where I'm at. I think that might be enough. It might not, but we'll see. So let's start off on this side, nice and light. Push down, go across, and lift up. Fix that middle part. Same thing. I try to get them to touch at the crossing points there. If they don't, just kind of make them. I'm going to make that thick like the other one. Now you want to not over reduce too much, but you do want to keep a good consistency. These are kind of a pain in the ass. But they look cool. I remember when I saw the Kafka videos, I was kind of blown away by them, so I try to make sure I figured them out. He can do them way faster though, but that's a 40-year veteran or longer. I'm not sure how long he's been doing it. But I only got 2 years so far, so I'm still learning, guys. Maybe I'll be able to knock them out fast a year from now. So I'm going to add just a little wheat design there, and I'm going to connect that. This looks like it's going that way, so connect it right there. I wish I hadn't made this so fat, but what can you do? Now I'm going to give this a tail kind of going the opposite way. Something just happened on my phone. Let me check that out. Oh, I don't know. Maybe a notification. Well, I'm not horribly fond of that, but we'll keep it. Maybe you guys will like it. I don't know. It's not very fluid. I mean, it kind of is, kind of. What do they say? We're our worst critics, right? So, I think just gonna add something to this one. Same thing on the other side. Try to fix that a little bit. I think I'm going to call it quits. We add a little signature down here. And I'll show you guys what I did.